This podcast is for singers who have music in their soul and want to be in the spotlight. We are INVICTA Vox Radio.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to a special Christmas episode of INVICTA Vox Radio. Thank you for the jingle belling up front. If you aren't watching this on YouTube, go check it out. We look ridiculous. But as always, we are your hosts, Mike and
Angie Lee.
And today we're going to be talking about the season of giving and really how to give and how to give to your community and how to help other artists and what to expect or not expect in return.
And right now I just got to push your nose button here. Mike's wearing a Rudolph nose and now
it
is lit up.
We are officially lit. So
Rudolph lit.
Yeah.
The Nike is in the nose literally.
But
not the other lit.
Yeah, but we're talking about the season of giving, right? And this is such an important concept that is often lost. And I want to attack this from a couple angles, but the first place I want to start is a lot of people feel like that, hey, if I help somebody else, I'm giving them an advantage, and then they could maybe get the position that I wouldn't have, right? Like, oh, what if they get a career in music and I don't make it because I helped them and they don't reach back
it's
and
finite.
give back.
Yeah. I think there's that position of I'm afraid to give in case somebody else gets ahead and I don't. And then there's also this idea too, and we can talk about both of these.
I gotta take this thing off. It's keeping me from the microphone.
Okay, yeah. We just gotta have a unicorn horn
right
nose on your head.
Anyways, sorry.
So, it's cute. So yeah, it's the situation of if I give and help someone else get ahead, then they take my opportunity. So it's this idea that there's scarcity of opportunities. And then there's the other flip side of that too, where if I give, I expect to get something back. And so that's not the point of giving, guys. The point of giving is to give, is to serve, is to not have any expectations of that service. And so I think while we're talking about the season of giving, let's talk about both of those things, because you can get yourself really far ahead in life and in this industry if you have this heart of service, if you have this heart of giving, and understanding that there's no such thing as a scarcity of opportunities unless you decide not to see opportunities in front of you. So let's dig into that.
Yeah. All right. Well, so here's one thing that I've actually struggled with in the past from time to time. It doesn't come up in all situations. It actually doesn't come up in most situations. But I do occasionally get this mentality, this scorecard mentality, right? Yeah. Where it's like I'm keeping track of like everything I've done for someone else. And then when it comes time and they don't do something for me, it's like, hey, well, what about all these things that I've done for you? And it really builds up resentment and frustration for the people around you, when really if you give just to give, right? Like I'm giving because I want to give, not because I feel like I need to give or because someone's asking for it. It's like, hey, I'm willing to do this for somebody. And if you're willing to do it, then just do it and let it go and know that karmically you're doing things that may come back to you. It may not. You may never see the results of it. But I always feel like if you do good things place that good energy into the world and help other people and try and make the world a better place, then that will come back to you somehow, some way. Maybe not the way you expected it, maybe not the way you thought it was going to go, but eventually something is going to play out in your favor. And you may not attribute that to your giving, but it's just good things come back to you, right? It's just this concept of karma. But initially, in order to make it so that way you don't resent people, so you don't feel frustrated with the people around you, especially the people that you love. We tend to do this the most with the people that we love, is keep this scorecard mentality. And instead, we just need to give for the sake of giving and feel good about it and know that you chose that in the first place.
Yeah, and I like this idea of the karmic loop of putting good out and receiving good. The reason why you get good back is because you change your community around you. You change your region. You change your loved ones when you give acts of service. And if we're speaking to specifically the music industry, and there are other artists around you who need your help, and you can uniquely give it. Giving unsolicited help when you can see that there's a need for it and it can be received is incredible. It's this gift of helping buoy up people around you. And when you do that, when you're known as this person, not because you want to be a doormat, that's not what we're saying. Don't let people walk all over you. But if you can be this person of service and of give, the thing that's so cool about that then is by boosting the community around you, you boost all the energy within your vicinity, and it is contagious, and it is going to absolutely come back to you, and people are going to be more willing to help you. Having said that, don't do it just to get something back, because that's not a true heart of giving. It's the same thing of expressing gratitude to people. Like the reason we express gratitude, the person that really gets the gift from that isn't the person receiving, it's the person giving. Because when you express gratitude, it completely shifts your entire focus and the way you see the world. And so it's the same thing when you give, and you're giving from your heart, and you're giving with no expectation to receive back. That's a gift to you. And it also, again, boosts up your entire community, which kind of leads us into like the first thing we were talking about.
Right. Real quick, though, I just want to actually touch on what you were just talking about.
Oh, okay.
Because there's like, yes, that the heart of giving, which you just give, right? That actually means like, okay, in my heart, I am giving. To expect something in return is not giving, it's transaction.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
It's a heart of exchange, right? Like, oh, I'm giving this.
And we have talked about trade before. Like if you're going to set up a trade transaction with people, that is really cool. That's not a gift of service though. That is just purely, okay, you have something I want, I have something you want, let's trade. And that's a really great way to utilize resources and get what you need. But what we're specifically speaking to right now is that just pure help and giving.
Yeah, there's a time for transaction, and then there's a time to just give.
Yeah.
And I think it really just helps your soul and helps you stay in the game. It helps you mentally if you know that you're giving just for the sake of giving. It gives you a different energy, a different passion about what you're doing. And I feel like at the end of the day, you just feel boosted up in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And so that, again, going into the next situation.
Well, it gives you energy and vitality in what you're doing because you feel good.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's that energy, again, in your community is reciprocated.
And then there's the second part to it, or the first part.
Yeah. You
Whatever
kind of,
part.
Mike flipped it.
We flip-flop. Flipping and flopping.
The other part of giving.
But the other part of it is don't feel like if you give then your position is taken away, that all of a sudden there's not going to be enough for you. I think that this fear plays into people so much. We see this all the time.
It's a full-blown scarcity mentality. Like the opportunities are scarce, that money is scarce, that time is scarce, we're speaking specifically to opportunities, that if someone else does something really cool with their career, that means that you can't because they took the opportunity. That is false.
Yeah. And if that situation actually ends up happening, get better at creating opportunity.
Like if someone gets an opportunity and you don't?
Well, it's just like this, like, oh, if I help someone get better at this, then they will outperform me. Right? It's like, oh, if I teach somebody what I know about singing, if I give them my secret sauce,
I'll give them a leg up.
Then maybe they'll get better than me. Well, okay, then innovate. Go find something that you can then be better, or it should be this continual game of exchange where, yes, you're helping other people, but at the same time, you're not stopping your progress.
No.
You have to keep progressing. You have to keep creating opportunity for yourself. And in the meantime, help other people with that same thing. Help them with their progress. Help them with their opportunities, with what they can see. And it's just this continual chain that really helps pull the whole game along. And if you're not willing to do that for other people, then people who are further ahead of you in the game aren't going to be willing to do that for you.
Yeah. Yeah, because entrepreneurs talk about this all the time when you're like looking for people in the industry that can mentor you and that can help you along with your journey. You always want to have a group of people around you that are at the same place as you are.
Yeah.
And then you want to have someone who's out in front of you, who can help pull you along, who can show you the path. But then you also want to have people behind you in the journey that you can then reach back and help. And so it's this idea of it, not exchange in regard of trade, but it's an exchange of love and light and give and service. And if you can have a heart of service, then you will go very, very far, because you're going to see like-minded people. You'll be able to attract that type of person to you as well, who wants to help, who wants to be part of your community. And then you have the ability to pay it forward as you get further along, to be able to reach back and help more people. And so and it's like I said at the beginning, it's not that you're going to be a doormat. It's not that you're going to just let people walk over you and I'm like, hey, I'm going to do everything for free. Like, that's not what we're talking about. It's in these moments where you can reach out and help, where you can pay it forward, where you can just have this heart of giving with, no expectation. Then you are going to surround yourself with an amazing group of people who are vibrant with that energy as well. And it's going to get you so much further, faster. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's just one of the cool things about life in general, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've been picked up and mentored by so many people in all kinds of facets of my journey. And I am so grateful for those people to be able to give me that advice, to be able to help me in those moments where I've been stuck. And then to be able to go and turn around and share those lessons with people who are coming up, right? Whether that's through the stuff I'm going through with engineering and that path, or with business, or with music, or with anything that we've learned along the way, or that I've learned along the way. It just feels good to be able to give that to somebody else, and to watch them have those light bulb moments, and to watch them really progress, and to start to feel more comfortable and powerful in what they're doing. And just know that doesn't come from me, that comes from the help that I've received along the way. And I'm simply able to turn around and kind of hand that off to somebody else as well.
Pass that good energy around.
Yeah. And in turn, it also helps me see things that I wouldn't have been able to see had I not done that, right? Like, it helps me see the shortcomings and the lack of knowledge or whatever. And actually what I'm doing is, when I go to teach other people, it's like, oh shoot, there's a big hole in my game right here.
Yeah.
And so that's another cool, just kind of side benefit of it.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah. So like, let's think of some things that you can do, that you can give to people in your industry, that you can help people with. And I mean, obviously, if you just want to be like, hey, I wrote a song for you. I thought that this would be a really cool song for you. And I wrote it, and it's one of my favorite songs I've ever written, but I realized that this song isn't for me. And do you want this song? Yeah. And collaborating with people in that way, like the simple act of like, I don't expect you to love it. I don't expect you to say, yes, this is everything to me, but hey, I know you're looking for songs, and what do you think? Obviously later on there will probably be a transaction of some sort because you wrote the song, but just this idea of, hey, I just want to give you this.
Yeah. And really that comes down to really all the resources that we talked about a few podcasts ago in our Get Scrappy thing, right? Like, yeah, you can give money, but you can also give time, give energy. You can give desire and faith to other people by helping them paint the vision for their future that they might not be able to see because they're not in that position of power at that point. But you can actually turn around and paint this picture of possibility for them that they can't see themselves, and then they feed into it, help them see. Yeah,
you can just have faith in them.
The vision. You can share your community, invite them into whatever you're doing, right? Like, hey, here's my circle, here's some people. But yeah, just there's all these resources that we have to share, our skills, our knowledge, all these things that you have the ability to give to other people. And most of it isn't going to cost you anything.
No. Yeah. That's
long term. It really doesn't actually cost you anything.
So it's this idea of boosting your community around you, giving just for the sake of giving and not expecting anything in return, knowing that there will be a reciprocal energy. Absolutely. And it boosts your entire community around you. And it will open up possibility and things for you that you didn't see before. It really will. And so since it's Christmas,
give. Just give. All right. And with that, we will wrap this bad boy up with
a question.
The question of the day. So pull out your pens, your pencils, your etch-a-sketches, whatever you may take notes on.
Yeah. Etch-a-sketch. You better have an etch-a-sketch during Christmas time.
If you're watching this on YouTube, and hopefully you are, to see these sweet reindeer ears and jingle bells.
And Mike's glowing schnoz.
Yeah, and my glowing nose, which we'll throw it back on the nose for the...
Oh, no, you're stuck on your bell there. Okay, there we go.
But in the in the comments section, what can you give this holiday season, right? Like to people in your community, to other artists, what can you be giving, and what are you going to commit to giving something, right? What are you going to commit to giving to this holiday season?
And it can even be going and performing. I know you can't go perform somewhere. Maybe you're going to send a video this year, to someone you love and share your music. Maybe even sharing your music is your gift. And I mean, that's my favorite gift.
Send a Zoom link to your grandma, and when she opens that bad boy up, just start singing her a song and give her your time, energy, and talents.
Yeah. Absolutely. You don't have to just give to people in the music community. We can be giving and sharing with our entire community to uplift all this time of year.
And again, as always, please share the podcast. Tell people about it that you think might benefit from this podcast. Again, we're a community, and we just help each other, with whatever we can. We want to help you guys with our stuff, and we would appreciate it if you would help us, although not mandatory. And until next time,
peace. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.